Hello sports fans, I'm Nik Rabinowitz. Welcome back to Banter with the Boys, episode 5. First up, let's take a look at some of this week's sporting highlights. The Betway SA20 finale sees Sunrisers Eastern Cape and Durban's Super Giants square off against each other in a battle of the country's less popular beach destinations. Meanwhile, the Proteas women are on the cusp of making history in their ODI away series against Australia, proving our women cricketers really are much better at going down under than our man cricketers. South Africa's faith in our national football team is renewed after Bafana won on penalties against Cabo Verde and then lost on penalties to Nigeria in their AFCON semi-final. They next play DR Congo for third place. To accommodate post-solar load shedding, CAF have ruled that the match will be played as a T20. Each team will take 5 penalties at the beginning of the match, and in the event of a tie, they'll play 90 minutes of football. Dr. Congo. DR Congo actually sounds like the name of a sangoma on one of those flyers that say things like, Dr. Congo, return lost lover, make enemies suffer, grow male organ much bigger. Let's hope Bafana's muti is much stronger than Dr. Congo's erections. And now, over to the studio, which is conveniently right here. As always, I'm joined by my illustrious co-hosts, former Springbok captain and Paarl Gym opening batsman Jean Dolph Lundgren de Villiers and ex-Proteas bouncer Chris Morris. Where is Chris Morris?
I think Chris is bouncing today. Not cricket bouncing, actually he's bouncer stories. He's doing the job.
No, he's... Where is Chris? Freddie? Guys, we've got Dricus Du Plessis. Where the f*** is... This is ridiculous. Where the f*** is Chris?
Champ is here.
Yes!
And here's also Dricus, by the way.
Hello, Yella.
Here's also Dricus. Hop. There she goes.
No.
You want
That looks
to
very
sit
nice.
next to Nick?
Well, listen, I'll sit where you tell me to sit, I guess.
You sit right there.
What an honor.
Nick, you can hold that.
No,
No, he
it's too
can't.
heavy for
He
me.
can't. Have you not seen his arms?
I'm going to place it right here, guys, if that's okay.
Yeah, this,
Guys, it is a special privilege today to be joined by the undefeated UFC champion of the world, Dricus Du Plessis! And his bodyguard.
And his bodyguard.
His bouncer.
You're welcome.
He claims to have been doing regular bodyguarding work for you, Dricus, but this can't be what you look for in a bodyguard, sure.
So how it happened was, actually the one thing is, I need to entertain people in all the ways, and that's the biggest entertainment is when I tell people this guy's my bodyguard.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Do you when you seriously though, when you are employing a bodyguard, surely is it a requirement that they must be able to f*** you up? Or is that asking a bit
Well,
much?
yeah, I mean, there's only like nobody in the world that's your bodyguard.
There's nobody that can do that. Thus, that's why he doesn't have a bodyguard.
Of all the fighting names you could have chosen, what is the story behind Stillknocks? Before you get to the story, did you consider any other names? Like, for example, Dricus Melatonin Du Plessis. It doesn't really have the same ring
and it's
to
not
it.
a prescription.
It's not prescription.
It's like
No, you need a prescription for it.
for melatonin.
I think you do.
No, you don't.
Dricus Dormicum.
Dormicum,
Dormicum.
Ativan.
Yeah.
Ativan?
Listen, I didn't know any sleeping pills names. That's that's the story. So my brother came up with this. So when I was 19, I was...
Which one? Neil, your brother Neil.
Neil, my brother Neil.
Because he's the favorite guy in the family. For me, of all the brothers, I like Neil the most.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got very famous now for being my brother. But no, listen, my brother, he came up with the idea when I had to make my professional debut. I said, guys, I need a fight name. Because at that stage, everybody was called something like Skull Cracker or like
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Everybody had this intense nickname. So I thought, listen, I need a nickname. I'm going to make my professional debut, and it needs to be cool. And we tried a lot of things and said a lot of stupid things. And he came. He said, "Take Stillknocks." I said, that makes no sense. What does that even mean? He said, "It's a sleeping tablet." I said, "I don't know any sleep. I don't know it." And he said, "No, it's like a very strong sleeping tablet." I said, "Okay, I'll go for it. Let's see if it sticks. Let's see how it feels when we get closer to the fight." And I couldn't think of anything better, and it stuck, and here we are today.
What are some of the other names that you have?
I can't say it.
You gotta share.
cannot say it.
You gotta share it.
The one, I remember the one specifically was Pretty Boy. They wanted to go with that.
Because
No, that would be good. That was,
I went,
no, that's
I
mean.
don't- that was
That's
way
mean.
before
That
this.
sounds very
That was way
intimidating.
before this. That was a lot of fights ago.
Villiers, you recently got a new nickname. Apparently,
Did I?
you try to grow your beard. Have a look at this. You try to grow his beard in December,
Dolph.
and they
Yes.
changed his nickname from Dolph Lundgren to Santa. Look at that.
Is that rare? It's rare.
That's like 14 years ago.
Is it really?
It took 14 years
As
to
much
grow
as
that
how long
beard.
it took you to grow it.
Yeah, but he said something, quite special earlier when he arrived with the belt, and he said, that's not his belt. That's still South Africa's belt for a couple of weeks.
100%.
That's so cool, Jig. And you really are such a proud South African, and I'm sure it can be a lonely sport sometimes because it's just you, even though you do have a team around you, but it's not like the box where it's a whole team that goes out and performs.
Yeah, people only laugh at you if you get in mood.
Yeah. I promise you we don't laugh.
We laugh at the box and they get mood, especially against Japan.
Okay, shh. But is that not meant to laugh at that? Is that really the way you feel about it? This is for South Africa? That was part of the
100%.
motivation?
For me, the biggest part of that motivation going in, if you're going into that fifth or fourth round, you can only see out of one eye and things are not going well, you're hurt, you're tired. That's when you get into a position where you say, I know, when I walked out there, I remember myself as a fan sitting in the stands when I watched fights.
Yeah.
And when you get that, especially on the main events, you get that feeling. You're like, this is so intense. And you're not even fighting just before the fight starts. And I know the whole South Africa is awake right now, in different times and in different worlds. And they are watching this fight. And they really, truly want me to win this belt. And not because they want me to succeed, they want the country to succeed. Just like when we watch the box, because it gives hope to every single South African out there. It gives pride in our nation, and regardless of any obstacles we as a nation ever face. And for that moment, for that time period after winning that World Cup, after bringing this belt home, none of that matters. It's only positive, and it inspires a whole nation. And for me, that is incredible because we are one incredible nation.
And South Africa will forever be
Yes.
part of that belt going forward because, and if we can zoom in,
Tell us what's going to happen.
but maybe Dricus, tell us what with a flag.
I'll hold it because I'm your bodyguard.
So here you can see all the countries that has held this belt, and it's the colors of the flags.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the South African flag, and it will be on that belt forever. Must be. It's going to be.
Etched in history forever.
There's no taking it away, and that is what made this fight so special for me. Is the fact that there's never been a African residing champion.
Yeah.
There's never been a South African champion, and now this, no matter what happens ever, this can never be taken away from the country. It can never be taken away. The accomplishment can't be taken away, and our flag will be ingrained in yet another sport for the rest of
So
time.
do you reckon where the South African flag is, do you reckon a couple of diamonds are going to go missing?
Well,
Speaking of which, have you had any messages from our government? You've had some choice words for them. Any congratulatory
no, but
messages?
my inbox is pretty full. So I don't get it. Don't get to all my messages, but no, not at all.
DMs from celebrities. You must have had a few from some famous people.
Yes,
Drop some names.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I know. I've become friends with quite a few of them. Obviously, when you do these things, you meet people like John, the celebrity, and yeah. So I mean, I've rubbed shoulders with some cool people lately, and I mean, childhood years of mine. You guys talked about Skalkberger as, just in a. You said, did you spend some time with Skalkberger? Skalkberger is my absolute hero. When I was a kid, my books were. The papers on my books, I had photos of him everywhere, and I even grew my hair like this. So I had
Like his
long
was.
hair.
Well, see, then you have to shave it now.
Yeah. No. That's when I decided, nah. And but actually, man, my middle brother is a massive. We are both Stormer supporters. When I told him I'm going to come on the show, he said, "Listen, if you guys going to ban you cannot say anything bad to John de Villiers. He's a hero." And I said, we'll see how he behaves. And he's also the biggest Skalk. We were such massive fans, and having the opportunity now to meet these people and sit around the table. It's really special. It's awesome.
Who's the biggest and like coolest celebrity that you've met? Because there must be like some amazing American.
I spent quite some time with Dan Bilzerian at his house. I went to visit him, and we're doing some business stuff with the tequilas and the tequila company that I'm a part of, and that was pretty cool, I have to say. And obviously meeting Donald Trump was something special.
Yeah.
But I visited Dan Bilzerian's house the last time I was in Vegas, and
Does it smell like Vaseline?
we went to his. It's insane. You've never seen anything like it. It's crazy. And he had a trophy truck, like the massive trophy trucks, and I said, listen, we have to leave because we had to go to the airport. Me and the team manager, and he says, do you have some time? Do you like fast cars? I said, I love it. I love it. He said, do you have half an hour? And I looked over to our team manager, Henny, and I said, do you have half an hour? He says, no, we have to leave now to make our flight. I said, for what? What are we going to do? He said, I'm going to show you my trophy truck. We're going to go for a ride in the desert. I said, yes, I have time. Let's go. And we went. So that was a pretty insane experience to be able
cool
to do that.
After winning the fight and obviously being probably the most dangerous man in the world, have you been offered a role in one of the Fast and Furiouses that are coming up by any chance?
No, they are only shot on the moon now. So.
No, fair. But I've heard a little birdie told me something that for you guys to train, and something needs to happen for you to get stabbed by a cattle prod, a little shocker. Can you explain to us what?
A what?
A cattle prod.
Yeah, when we train, we get like with the.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, our coach.
Stabbed with a cattle prod.
Yeah, no. Our coach has it in
Shock,
hand.
yeah.
And,
Was that
you have
preparation for
That is
Sean
no,
wanting
that
to
is,
stab you?
That is him. No, it's not only me.
Oh.
It's a team. He's not going to repeat himself 10 times when you're making mistakes.
Right.
So
Okay, so you
don't
get in
make
line
them-
then.
Don't make the mistakes. You know what the worst thing about this is? So you have to realize sometimes we are very sweaty. I know it sounds a lot more erotic than it is, but so I'm on a guy. I'm just trying to choke this guy on top of him, punching him, and the coach says, "Get out, move." The guy's really giving his all to move, but I'm holding him there, and the coach says, "Give me," and he gets it, prods it, and immediately you can see somebody very tired, can't move. When he hears that, this guy starts moving. He gets extra strength. But now I realize, am I going to let him up as a good teammate would?
No.
Or am I going to, make him work for it like a good teammate would because I want him to get better? But the first time you realize that if you are both sweating and
You
kind
also
of wet,
yeah.
and he gets electrocuted, you also get
You get electrocuted.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So when I see guys coming, I'll just act as if I'm really trying and help this guy. I'm like, get to your feet, man. Go on. We're all both getting shocked for this. So, but it's a alternative but good method.
I've heard a story from someone saying that when you were
From someone.
yeah, from someone.
Okay. I like where this is going.
We have a WhatsApp group.
Yeah, saying that when you were younger, you used to, I don't know if you were still at school, maybe at the end of school or whatever, but on weekends, you would go with your bakkie or whatever and park outside nightclubs and pubs and whatever and sit there and wait for fights to happen and then watch fights happening and...
Yeah, I mean, I'm from a place called Hartbeespoort.
Yeah.
The Devil's Lair.
No, it's amazing. And Brits is right there, so you know. And we had a place called Legends, and that was the only place there.
Yeah.
A nightclub.
It's not a nightclub, it was more of a bar, but it was the only one.
A pub club.
It was inevitable that there would be a fight on the weekend.
It was, listen, if you didn't see at least 5 fights a night, then, I don't know, then you didn't look.
And it's free as well.
It's free, 100%.
It was a poor night.
No pay-per-view
So,
there.
Especially from like around, I would say from around 11 in the evenings. That's when it started going. Sometimes even at 6. But I wasn't 18 years old.
Okay.
Then I was still in school. So we weren't allowed to go into Legends.
Got you.
So it's under 18 place, but you're only allowed to go in when you're 60. If you're from it's a small town, what are you going to do? But
Under 18, and you're allowed to go.
so we would go there. Right next to it was an O'Hagan's, which was just a restaurant. So the younger folks, we would just be at O'Hagan's enjoying Coke,
Beers.
Cola. We're not allowed to have beers. So you do a car ball. And so around 10-ish, they were in the same kind of road, but right next to each other. So we would take the car and go park right in front of Legends because it was stairs up. And we would sit on the back of the bakkie and just sit and wait. Because every 15 minutes, some
As you do,
folks
Nick.
would,
As you
folks,
do.
we would just see some guys walking down, see another group, and we go,
It's happening.
here we go. And the guys would just start swinging. And we just sat there and enjoyed these fights until, there were some times I said, guys, you think I'm ready? I was talking to my friends. I think we should get involved somehow. And
Yes.
but I mean, that was.
Did you ever get involved when it was a slow night? Would you go?
And cause the fight.
Slap on arse and then walk out.
Yeah.
Listen, the
hear
people
what
are there
Chris
to be
said about it?
entertained. The people need to be entertained.
Yeah.
It's about the GDP of our town.
A rugby fan, but cricket today, of course, behind us we have the SA20, the Betway SA20 final. Do you like your cricket? I believe your dad was a big cricket fan, almost accidentally named you after the Afrikaans word for hat trick, which is? Drickens.
Drickens.
Is that true?
Drickens.
Is that really what you call it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Cricket is a hat trick.
Drickens, yeah.
I love cricket. And I tried to play cricket from a very young age. My dad came to me one day. I played cricket every year when I was in
And
school.
said, Drickens.
He said,
did he say?
Drickens. No, I don't even know. That's why I don't even know, like not even close ever. So I was outside fielder,
Yeah.
but very outside, as far as you can go.
Yeah.
And I was the last batsman on the team if I got elected, picked for the game.
And never bowled.
No. And it was probably in maybe grade 9. And I was there. I was training every day. And my dad came to me after, this happened in primary school. He said, do you like cricket? And I said, I love it, Dad. Because every game we'd be there. And he said, why? Do you go practice every day? I said, I go to practice every day, Dad, I promise. He said, because you really suck. I never got a chance to bat because I was the last batsman and I was the outside fielder, so I didn't really contribute to the team.
And that's where the anger came from.
Every single time, I didn't make one single hit. Every time I touched that ball, I was out. Every single time. I remember at one stage, the wiki said, listen, you can't stand like that from the other school. And I said, shut up, dude. And the ball came and I went, boom.
Yeah.
Gone.
And I realized it's not, I was terrible at cricket. I'm terrible. I'm the worst cricket player in the world.
That's fine.
But I love it.
Coming back to Jean's,
you're pretty good at
coming back to
fighting.
Jean's insight there. A lot of fighters have an originating incident. For Sean Strickland, abusive father. Do you think cricket? What did you say?
Yeah,
This is where the anger comes from.
where the anger came from.
Yeah, it's the failure, man. I couldn't deal with it. I had to be successful.
But what other sports did you do at school?
I played rugby. Rugby was the big thing for me. I love rugby. I love rugby.
You said you thought you could be a Springbok.
If I could be a Springbok, I don't know. It's a very tall order to become a Springbok. I don't think people realize.
Position?
Flanker.
That's why
would've-
Skalkberger. There we
You
go.
would have
Yes.
cleaned Jean's pipes if you played.
Jeez.
Probably. You're probably right.
We're going to come back to more stories in the long
yes, I
tail
would
with our champ, Dricus Du Plessis. Can you turn that down? We're making a fucking movie.
Quiet on set.
Sorry, I lost my part.
Gone off.
Donkey.
Thank you.
Donkey.
Mom! Before we come back, let's have a quick visit
You never know what she's doing. You never know what she's doing back there.
around the stadium with Amy in fans in the stands.
Woo!
Sir!
You're rugby. You know your rugby.
A little bit.
Okay. Who are you taking as top try scorer in the Six Nations?
Good question. Wow. Okay. Definitely not one of the French guys. I'll probably go with James Lowe.
Take a team. Who's going all the way to Six Nations?
Look. There's good odds on England winning it because they play Ireland at home. So if they get momentum, but I would still say Ireland. I think they're just too good at the moment. They've got 3 games at home and they're looking really good.
Let's talk about the epic victory over Sean Strickland. Were you ever worried in that fight that you might not have enough?
During the fight.
Yes, during
so
the fight.
during the fight, after the first round, I immediately went to my corner and said, Coach, listen, we need to do a little bit more. I understand that because that was our whole game plan. First 2 rounds, keep the pressure, keep him on the back foot because he does his best work when he's pressuring forward and he gets momentum. You get guys that are back foot fighters, then you get guys that are front foot fighters. He's a 100% a guy that if he's going forward and he makes people tired that way because he just keeps on, doesn't hit hard, he just throws quantity and he's just on you. So that was our plan. And after the first round, I just kept the pressure, but we didn't want to go for an early finish. That was not the plan because you can get tired, gas out, and they expected that because that's how I always fight. And after the first round, obviously my eye was already closed and I walked into a lot of the jabs and I didn't even care about it because it wasn't hard. But even with those small gloves, it doesn't have to be hard. Your face is just... And I realized, I think we lost the first round. I went to the corner, I said, we lost that round. I said to my coach, I think we should do more. And he said, yeah. And I turned it up a little. Second round, got that round. And from the third round, that's how our game plan worked. Third round, we start going for that finish. 3, 4, and 5. And it's a hard game plan because if you do get tired in the first 2 rounds and your whole game plan was about going lighter in the first 2 and then pushing the pace in the third, but it worked out perfectly. I felt amazing in the 3rd and 4th and 5th round.
Also knowing you haven't gone 4th and 5th.
That's the other thing, because I've done it in training a lot. But, everybody says you can't do it, and I have had the criticism of being a guy that fades later in the fight. And that was the biggest part of our game plan. I knew, our team knew, my coach knew that we are not going to fade in this fight. We were so well prepared. And after the fight, I immediately went to my coach and I said, we definitely have this fight. I said, at least 3 rounds, 3 out of 5. And my coach said, no ways, you definitely won 4 of your 5 rounds. And when they went to a split decision, I was actually quite surprised. I couldn't believe it because in my mind, it was I definitely won the fight. I won. If you can be as critical as you want to be, even the fact that they say you won the last round, it's insane. Because if you go look at that round, I was the aggressor the whole time. I went forward and I went for that finish. The last 30 seconds, his corner screamed at him, there's 30 seconds. And he started just, throwing these bowlers and one hit me, but it wasn't hard and the rest all missed. It wasn't as if, and that was the last 30 seconds. So, there was no case to be made. If I'm going to be brutally honest, I only give him the first round of that fight. So when they went to a split decision, where one judge gave him the fight, the other me the fight, and now one judge decides who wins this fight. And you can try and be as unbiased as you want to be as a judge. You obviously like some people and you don't. Yeah. So I stood there and I realized that my whole life's work up until this point, every single thing, the whole, I know my whole country is watching, the whole world is watching.
Came down to that.
Came down to one guy's, and I really hope he knows he's fighting because I won that fight and he gave me the fight. There was no doubt up until they started to announce that it's a split decision. And
I got the same feeling. And I know you were there in Paris as well for the final of the World Cup.
Just as you said it, I got goosebumps again.
But I got the same feeling sitting on my couch at home, watching the fight. And for the decision, then what you get, kind of in a rugby game, the last play, game's done.
Pass for Chestnut, pass for Chestnut.
Scrum, you go in, get the ball on, knock it, and then one way for the result. Then the second one scored you split decision, and then when he said and new, and then it's like I think the whole South Africa just went.
When he said and, I really felt like. The pressure you feel before you walk out there, I know you've been under that immense pressure, but the pressure that I feel before I walk out. Also. Yeah, but he's one. That's why he's a $6 million man. He doesn't feel pressure.
Yeah.
So that's why.
From the bench.
Walking out there and going, okay, I'm going to go out there and fight a dude that knows I'm going to fight him. So it's not like a guy standing at a bar looking that way. And this guy is prepared. And going out there and the pressure it's insane. It's especially when you're fighting in the UFC, and especially when obviously in my fights in the UFC, the people I'm continuously fighting people that are crowd favorites. I don't know or I'm just not a likable guy because I just get booed every time I walk out there. And that doesn't bother me, but the pressure is there because I call them out. I just say, listen, double down, let's go. And the pressure, just for not failing, but the pressure I felt at that moment was the worst feeling that I've ever felt. I felt like crying because I couldn't
Couldn't do anything about it, yeah.
I just stood there and said, listen, give us another round before we make a decision. Let's not be rational. Let's be rational about this, guys. And yeah, it tipped in my favor, and thank God for that. I mean, it was the most incredible moment, and I explained it yesterday too. I said, all the sacrifice and hard work I've ever had to make. Every time I trained an hour extra, woke up a little bit earlier and didn't go to that party. I couldn't because I had to make those sacrifices. If I won this fight in the first round with a knockout, I would have felt like, I could have done a little bit less, because I won this fight so easily. And it just shows you that hard work, the margins you get when you're at the top. The margin for error is so small, and the margin between being a world champion, winning that decision and losing it is so small. And 15 years of work has gotten me to the point to win this bout with one single point.
Was it relief or joy when you won? When they announced you, was it relief?
Every single thing.
You got hot and cold at the same time.
Yeah.
It was joy. It felt like the whole world just like fell off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Because that was just the pressure, but the joy I felt, having my dad and my mom and my brothers there, and making my family proud, having my flag there, having my coaches there who's been with me since I was 17 years old, having all of the people that matter to me, having my beautiful girlfriend, having every single person that matters to me, really matters to me in that arena, the people that flew out, my friends. There's so many people who flew out to Canada. It's an expensive trip to go to Canada, and people just, they went.
So obviously Strickland said after the fight that I won the fight, whatever happens, that's it, that's the way life goes. How did you feel about the fact that he said, oh no, he won that fight? I know a lot of fighters will say, oh, I won that fight, but like in his heart of hearts, surely.
He brought a headbutt into it as well.
Yeah, he brought a headbutt into it, and his head butted my fist. That's what happened. But at the end of the day, I understand. The one thing about fighting, it's a very different dynamic than other sports because, you get a mic, you get a stage, and they say, there you go. Go for it. You don't have to be politically correct. You don't have to be anything. The UFC, a lot of people think there's some script there. They say you have to do this. Well, where I've in my time in this sport, I've never ever experienced that. It's 100% authentic. Go and do what you want to do. Be the character you want to be, and see if the world likes you. It's your choice. So when he started, he came to me, and I'm telling you this: Sean Strickland is not a bad guy. He's not a bad dude. Directly after the fight, I went to him and I said, "What a war! You're an absolute legend. It was awesome. The fight delivered. He delivered the fight that we promised we were going to give." And that's also very important because that's why people pay money to watch that fight. And he said to me, well done, he said, you're a warrior, you definitely won that fight. Like, you deserve it, you won that fight. Obviously, I said, I agree. And then we won the fight, and he went on, he even came into the medical room. He was right next to me, and we spoke, and it was all respect. And then the thing came where he said, I won that fight, and that I understand completely because as a fighter, you have to realize you have to.
He's selling it. He's selling himself.
You have to. You're your own.
He wants a rematch.
Your own advertisement. That's what you have to do. You have to advertise and make the people want the fight because the UFC is going to make the fight that's going to make the most money that the most people want to watch. And I understood that completely. But then he said the sentence: "That belt though they gave you will never make you a champion." And I said, "Listen,
mate, John.
My bro.
Luister gou 'n bietjie vir my.
Listen, you felt, and immediately I went, and that's exactly what makes this sport so great, because I immediately went, I'm in for the rematch, let's do it. Let's do the rematch, I want to do the rematch. And Dana already said no. And I said, no, but let's do the rematch, because it will be a much easier fight the second time, because now I know. I can start from the word get-go. I know he can't knock me out. He doesn't have the ability to knock me out. He doesn't hit hard enough. I know I can take him down. I know I can knock him out. I just need to push from the word get-go. Let's do the rematch. Everybody's like, whoa, Settle down, Tiger. What's
Relax,
up?
boy.
And, that's what he did great. He got that reaction, and that's what he wanted.
That little brawl that you guys had in the
Was it lacquer? Did you get a lacquer?
That was
in the stand.
amazing.
Fans in the stands.
But that, obviously there was a lot of chat that was set up, that they planned it like that. Obviously,
I wish they would have
Dana
informed
said he-
me, because
like I said,
if it was set up, I didn't know about it. That sucks.
what the fuck happened?
Didn't even warm up.
That's
Yeah,
what I wonder.
and I got punched in the head. Come on.
Like, what happened there? Like, how did it kick off?
So the whole thing happened with, obviously, we walked in, and I saw Sean Strickland sitting where all the fighters sit on the ringside, and I saw Sean Strickland on that side, always wearing his white shirt. It's-
Dave Miller.
Yeah, that's
Gets
how
noticed.
Yeah, it's he patented. So I see him on that side. So immediately I take my ticket and I start looking for my seat on this side, because the whole section is just for fighters. And the security guy looks at my ticket. He says, "No, you're on that side." I go, "Okay, interesting." And I see I'm maybe seat number 4, and I look at where Sean Strickland is sitting. Let's say it's it was. So it's A, B, C. I'm number C4 or something like that. And I see
Explosive.
It explodes, C4.
Oh, that's why
There you
I
go.
use that. Okay.
Nice.
And I see him and I go, this is interesting. And I start laughing, because here we go. Obviously, that's the night directly after that press conference, which he wanted to kill me. And our team manager again, Henny, says, "Oh no, this can't happen. This is very bad." I said, "Chill out, man. Nothing's going to happen. I'm calm. I won't do anything. It's going to be chill." He says, "Oh yeah, I'm calm. I've seen this one before. I've seen you be calm before."
On the bucky.
And I said, no, man, it's like, I won't do anything. It's fine. He says, "Yeah." Oh. And then they told us, "We are going to put the camera on you, Dricus." So they come to us, they said, "After this fight, we're putting the camera on you, so you don't leave, or just for the hype." And immediately I know he's from Vegas. He lives in Vegas. He's American. I'm definitely getting booed to shreds when that camera comes on me, and he's going to be cheered. But now I'm sitting here. He's sitting right in front of me. It's one row. It's me, one row, him. But exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 2 meters from each other. And so now I know when the camera's going to be on him, you are still going to see me in shot. So when the camera comes on me, and I just start booing with the crowd, because they went boo when the camera comes on me, but you see him in shot too, and I just go, "Yeah, let's boo this guy." And obviously that happened, and he did his whole thing with a gun. And
Gun?
Yeah, he went like, "Ah,"
right.
and I said, "Oh, like, if you want to shoot, like, even with a gun, you won't beat me," or something like that. I said that. And he turned around like that, and I said, "You better look in front of you before I,
You can say it. What did you tell him?
bliksem you."
Kom maar aan het gebruik, maar my sissies.
Yeah.
Don't say that. But I got you.
And he didn't understand it. And he turned around, and immediately I said, "Oh, you want to do it?" I said, "You want to do this? Let's go." And I moved the first chair. I just like moved the chair, and I was waiting for him, because now he has to move a chair. So I did my part, and he told the kids in front of us, "Hey, move out of the way," because Gilbert Burns'
Gilbert
kids were
Burns'
right.
kids, yeah.
And he said, "Move out of the way." And I looked at him, and I thought, "Okay, here we go." And he didn't move his chair, and he almost turned away like this. And I said, "Okay, nothing's gonna happen. Good. It's a good show. We gave the people a show. It's cool." And I turned away, but you can see you shouldn't trust that guy when he says, "Okay, no." And I looked at him like this, and next moment he just darted. He just stepped on the chair and darted and just jumped on me, and the fight went down. And he was on top of me like this. So there's chairs behind me. If I fall backwards, that's going to look bad. It's going to look bad. I'm going to lose that fight. And got him down, and I got a shot in once or twice, but the people, that security was impressive, because they were on us in 5 seconds. They were there. So it was interesting.
What was the result from the judges?
Well, from that, no, I mean, who ended up on top? This guy.
No split decision there.
At the end of the day, we are fighters. You have it in here. We have it in here. So you can't just switch that off completely. So, I mean, that is...
There's a reason you're a fighter.
Yeah, 100%. It's like any sports person. When you are a professional sports person, whether it's cricket, rugby, fighting, when you have to play table tennis at a kid's birthday party, against the kid.
Fuck them up.
You are there to win. You can't help it, and that's I honestly believe you can't help to be that competitive because if you don't have that will and that want to win, you can't be great at sport.
It's like electricity in the rest of the world. You know, it's there constantly.
You need
it's
it.
not like South Africa where you just switch it off and then
You beg for it.
It's right.
yeah, and then it's gone.
So
Ours can't.
if you got cut in that little brawl there, and sorry, you 2 weeks away from fight week, you get cut there, fights off like Fury. It's happened to Tyson Fury now and Sprawl. If that had to happen, how much cuck would there be?
Oh yeah, I was so scared. I thought of that immediately as the fight happened because I got him down to the floor pretty hard and he hit his head. I know, and the biggest thing is, you know, the doctors of the UFC, they need to look at fighter safety first. And obviously he hit me with some elbows and stuff on the head. So with that adrenaline, you don't feel any of that. You feel the shots, but you don't feel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I might as well have had a cut. If I had stitches there, the fight was off. Dana White and they came to me and they asked me. They said, "Okay, listen, so the police are here to take your statement because they are, you know, you need to lay charges." And I said, "Whoa.
Yeah.
This was not because they said no. He attacked you. It's assault." I didn't like the sound of that. I said, "I assaulted him. No, come on." And,
I assaulted you.
But at the end of the
I
day,
need to go
I
to
just
jail.
said, "No, you put me in jail."
Yeah.
What do you mean? I won the fight. Why do you need? Why am I not getting?
Yeah.
Like me.
And
Even
no,
put my own cuff.
I'm Batman.
I just asked. I said, "Listen, please, if there's any way, like we can not make this a thing, there was nothing."
Yeah.
I said, "Listen, he
Nothing
didn't do
there.
it."
Nothing happened.
Because, at the end of the day, it was about winning that world title.
Yeah.
And also, imagine me laying charges against a guy who just fought. I wouldn't be allowed to go
Handbags.
into artists
It
anymore.
was handbags, eh?
They would say, "Get out of here."
Handbags.
On your bike. And
Hey, Hollywood, get out of here.
The one thing I want to ask you about is the prep before not the fight, but before weigh-in. Because I saw you in that mobile
Steamer.
sauna thingy, and Dricus actually told me like the weight you go in at a certain weight,
I weigh in at 84 kilograms.
84. But before you went into that thing, what were you weighing then?
89.
89. You then drop.
where can I buy one of these things?
How long are you in there?
Listen, you get into that thing, there's a whole process of loading water. So, I mean, I
That's
walk
so
around at 100
fascinating,
kilograms. And when the fight camp starts, we start going down gradually because the day before the fight, I have to weigh in at about 83.9.
Just.
Not one single gram heavier. If I had to fight my next fight and weigh in at 84 on the money, they would take my belt away from me.
Yeah.
I lose the belt right there. That means you did not make weight, so you
Yeah.
cannot be champion in that weight division. So the thing is, how you do that weight cut is very important. How you prepare for that
Yeah.
in terms of loading the water correctly
And very technical
because you don't want to be too light going in because you're not going to put up the weight. Because I got into the cage at 96 kilograms
Jeez, like.
a day after, so I put on 12 kilograms from the weigh-in day, the Friday morning, to the evening.
But that's the thing for you. So you go from 100 kgs, fly, whatever, then you go down to 84, then within 24 hours, you have to fight and you're back at 96.
So basically, when you weigh in your neck, and then when after at the fight you look like me.
yeah. yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
The,
listen, I do look like this on the scale. Have you seen? My eyes are also like back of my head.
Oh, well.
But my hair doesn't get curly.
Let's talk about your crew. You're very tight. You're a family. Half of them are your family.
Jy mag van die biltong eet, né?
You can ook die chocolade ook eet, John.
We're going to get to the Stillknocks meat company in a second. That's not their product. But the kissing after
that's why I'm not taking any more of it.
the after-match kissing is something that we've discussed it on this show. Americans don't understand it. They don't get it. Sean Strickland had words about it. Maar hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie. En wat ons weet is, ons soen vir fucking almal op die lappies. Dis nie waar nie.
Look, yes, like it.
Dit wat ons doen.
That's what we do. I mean,
Yeah.
when they ask me about it, it's the funniest thing in the world that it is a thing. I mean, to this day, I kiss my dad every single time I see him. I kiss my
Love him.
brothers,
Yeah.
all two of them, whenever we see each other. When I kiss my brother on the lips. I don't give.
Here's a question though. Have you ever kissed the wrong person after a fight? Like maybe both eyes have closed up?
Like my opponent? No. But I did think about it, like Sean Strickland being like very intensely about hating that. I did think about maybe, imagine if I knocked him out and I went like,
But
Epic.
we've spoken about it in terms of rugby players that could be good fighters, and Bucky's his name obviously always comes up.
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And but I've got a story about Bucky's now.
Sorry.
In 2009, in the
And,
British, yes, no, definitely. In the British and Irish Lions series that we played in 2009, and Mike Phillips was the scrum half, but he had like, so Bucky, he had like quite, I think he's got blue eyes. And Bucky's,
I don't know where this story is
Bucky's chirped him in the game. And because Mike Phillips was telling him something, he did a scrum half. He was chirping him, and then Bucky just got up and said, "You've got beautiful eyes." and he also just called him a kiss every now and then. Like,
You've got beautiful eyes.
I think I saw that
Yeah.
reply. I saw that like the replay. It's like highlight where Bucky said
Yes,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
You said famously, Suid-Afrika, hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie. And translation for our Indian fans, they don't know what we know. And of course, Jean's got this T-shirt now. Nou weet hulle wat ons weet. Do you know what we know? Also, do we know what you know? And what is it that we know? And also, do we know
Jeez,
it
now
now?
I don't even know.
Do we know it no as in now, or was it just then? Because if they say if you know, you know, does the same apply to if you don't know? Because that's where I find myself a lot of the time. Like, is there anything that they might know that we don't know? Although if we don't know, we won't know what
No,
we don't
they
know.
don't know. We know.
We do know.
We know. We know.
Are you telling me that you don't know?
I
You
know.
telling me you don't know?
Because we know.
You know, really?
No, I know.
I know, you know.
Yeah, you better know.
I
know?
thought I
I'll
wasn't sure
teach.
whether you know, but I know.
You have to know. If you don't know, you will never know.
You
What
won't know.
they don't know and we know.
Yeah.
Tell us how you celebrated that night.
No. Now you will know.
That you're never gonna know.
I started.
Was it as messy as your face looks?
No. After the fight, so the UFC does this thing now where we fight in Vegas time. So Vegas is 3 hours behind Canada in terms of time zones.
Yeah.
So the main card always starts at 8 p.m. Vegas time when we fight in Vegas, but now we're fighting in Canada, so 8 p.m. Vegas time is 11.
Yo.
The last fight is at 10. I fought just past 1 in the morning.
Jeez.
Sure.
I was sitting there in the fight before mine and it went 25 minutes. So sometimes it goes quicker because if the fight
Knockout,
gets finished, knockouts, there was no good finishes in that whole main card. So all the fights went like, and the fight before me was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was also a 5-rounder. And I sat there and I almost fell asleep before I warmed up. And I sat there and I thought, can we just do this tomorrow? Come on, guys. Because I generally go to bed pretty early. And that was weird. So after the fight, doing all the press, going, getting showered, going doing the medical checkups, I got to the hotel. Me and Fasty got to the hotel at 4.
Jeez, like that.
4 in the morning. I didn't have one single beer that night. And that was the worst part because I specifically told them, but because I wasn't champion, so I didn't ever get what I want at the UFC. I said, when I walk out after that fight, the first thing I want to do is down a beer. Because for 8 weeks, I don't touch a beer.
Yeah.
And I love a beer. So that was the first thing I wanted to do with my title. And I had press conference after press conference, and I walked to the medical room and I said, they said, we're going to give you a moon boot. I said, no, I'm not wearing a moon boot. I'm fine. Let's go. I have my belt. After the first interview, I said, okay, fine, give me the moon boot. I'm not going to do the crutches. It's fine. After the second interview, I said, okay, give me one crutch. and then I went to the media, the press conference. After that press conference, I said, guys, somebody needs to carry this belt. Give me the crutches.
Yeah.
And I couldn't walk. The next morning, because like I said, I got to the hotel at 4. I just went to bed, didn't have one single beer. And the next morning I woke up and I got up. I promise you, I woke up, my belt was right here when I woke
so
up.
cool.
I looked at it and I went like,
That's like
this is the coolest day
It
of my life.
happened.
This
That's
is,
like
and I
that.
couldn't
Wasn't a
wait to
dream.
eat whatever I want,
Yeah.
go down a beer for breakfast.
I saw that. That
and
was cool.
yeah, and
Beer at
I
breakfast.
that was surreal. And as I sat up, I went, okay. A train went over me and reversed itself back over me. It was, and I wanted to, and I said, okay, cool, let's go check the face because I can see my eyes. Like, I said, and I wanted to go see. And that morning, I promise you, as a world champion, one of my first acts as world champion of the world was crawling to the bath and picking myself up in the bathroom sink because the crutches were there in the room, but I couldn't get up to get the crutches because there was nothing to push myself up against. Went to the bathroom and I told my girlfriend, I said, phone reception, asked if they have a wheelchair, and I rocked up to breakfast that morning in a wheelchair. What's up, guys? There's my belt. But that's the champion of the world. I rocked up there with my belt, my wheelchair, happy as can be. Second beer. I went, okay, where are we going, guys? Let's go.
That's beautiful, man.
Speaking of beer downers, it's over to Fans in the Stands with Amy, Debbie Downer.
My
AKA
Amy.
My Jenny.
We'll be back in a second.
Okay, so you guys from England, you're big into the Premier League, surely.
I am, less so her.
Okay, so I'll swing this way. Yeah. Who's your team? Who you support? What's your ride or die?
Crystal Palace, so guaranteed 14th finish every year.
Who do you think's gonna win it overall this season?
Man City, probably.
I wouldn't mind, as long as not Arsenal or Liverpool, I'll be happy.
I think City will do what they always do. They'll win 15 games in a row at the back of the season and they'll win.
I agree with that statement. That was episode 5 and the final episode of Fans in the Stands. I think we left it off on a banger. Let us know what you think.
We want you to reply to some bad mouthing that your fellow fighters have been throwing your way. Let's start with Brendan Allen.
Who is she?
Brendan Allen, she recently said, I'm so sorry. Brendan Allen, okay, firstly this week, Brendan Allen said that he was unimpressed by your skills. You were overrated and incredibly lucky
And
to
the world
be
champion.
the champion.
I forgot.
What do you have to say back into that camera there to Brendan Allen?
Oh, Brendan, I'm really sorry for the time I made you look like an idiot in front of everybody. Because it was true, you are an idiot. And maybe if you start winning fights more, you know, the man is not consistent. You can't just win a fight and then lose a fight. He's been consistent, he's been fighting nobodies.
Talk to him.
I'm telling him, Sean Strickland knocked him out. Sean Strickland destroyed him. So the poor guy, and I understand, it feels terrible. You're never going to be champion. Sorry.
There you go.
That's
Brendan, whoever
Can I
you
tell
are.
you a story about that, Brendan? Why
do.
the hate? Why he hates me so much? It's really funny because I also didn't understand it. The gym I train at when I'm in America, amazing people. It was Sanford, it's now Kill Cliff FC down in Florida. And the people are amazing, coaches. I have a lot of friends there. And Brendan trains there as well, but he comes in for his camps. And he just had a problem because we're fighting in the same weight division. But I mean, you're training with a lot of guys that's fighting in your weight division. I mean, it's a massive gym and they have like 70 pros. It's crazy. And we sat, and Brendan told the guys that I made friends with there, always when I go train there, and he's friends with them too, no, when he's going to train with me, he's going to go super hard and all that kind of shit. And I said, well, listen, I'm there to go hard. That's what we do. And we went to lunch because one of his very good friends is very good friends with me. So we went to lunch and Brendan came with. And the whole time we were at lunch, he's just like, why is this guy here? This stupid South African's with me. It's my friend. But he didn't say anything. He was just on his phone the whole time. And I thought, as South Africans do, let's break the ice. Let's, friendly banter. And he lost his last fight before that. And I know he has been vocal, like he wants to fight me. And I just went, and he had a vest on, and he had a tattoo with a date on it. And the date said 2-7, I think, something like this. And 1. So in fight terms, that means you've won 2, lost 7. And I went, hey Brendan, that tattoo on your shoulder, is that your fight record? And the whole table went, and, I mean, that's a funny joke.
That is good.
Hey, it's cool that you have your fight record tattooed on your shoulder. And he looked up and he says, that's my daughter's birthday.
Oh, dear.
And I mean, I don't care.
The jokes write themselves.
The jokes, I mean,
That is a
listen,
great line.
I didn't say anything about your daughter. I just thought that was my joke. And the people laughed. It was funny. And that is a funny joke. I mean, between boys, that's the banter. That's a funny joke. And he said, then this guy started hating on me. But I didn't think it was, I thought that was funny. I thought, now the ice is broken. Maybe we can become
Like
friends.
you be friends, because friends banter.
Yeah, that's
He's
what
banter
friends
with
do.
the boys.
And
boys do.
The boys
Yeah,
banter.
exactly.
And this guy, and then at the MMA awards, I think they asked him, why do you, every time he fights, he just calls me out. And I said, guy, you are at the back of the pile. I'm at the front of the pile. I'm going up. Like, get to the number, get to a contender, win more than 2 fights in a row, and then you might be able to fight me. And then he said, they asked him, why do you dislike Dricus so much? You call him out all the time. He says, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Yes, I just won a world title. That's pretty lucky, I guess. And he says, and then he tells this story. And I go, for the first time, this is like 2 years after it happened. I said, oh, now I understand why you hate me so much. I'm
It's just
like,
a friendly
come on,
joke.
man.
It was just a friendly joke.
Just a friendly joke.
Joke between lads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, take it as you will. I don't think we're ever gonna.
Sounds like a.
Let's talk about Robert
Yeah, he sounds
Whittaker.
like one.
Sounds like a.
You knocked out Robert Whittaker. You knocked him out cold in the second round
The
back
Aussie.
in July.
He's a nice guy.
And this week,
a nice guy.
he said
Mate.
he would beat you in 9 out of 10 fights.
But we only
and
fight once.
He's the better fighter. What do you want to say to this dreamer?
That's what the All Blacks said.
Yeah, listen, 9 out of 10.
Only need one.
Maybe I guess, but we only fought once. Man. That's the problem.
He was a
No,
nice
listen,
guy.
he's a super nice guy. I have all the respect in the world. Rob, my man, thank you. It was the biggest honor of my life. I was fanboying when I fought you. When he walked into the ring, I said,
Love you. You've
I'm fighting against
part of
Lord
it.
Whittaker. This is the coolest thing ever, man.
You are now, in our opinion, the greatest and only fighter in the world, and we will defend you, Dricus, no matter what. So quite
Forever.
frankly, Robert
Forever.
Whittaker, you can go suck a dick.
Yeah. Yo, Robert Whittaker.
Dricus, please back me up if he comes.
Yeah. Just suck
What's
it.
your address again? Nik Rabinowitz lives in Cape Town, in Constantia. What's your road? I'll get into your DMs. I'll slip into your DMs
and
with his number.
if you need a code to get into the estate,
Chris Morris, I need you. Defending the belt. Let's talk about defending the belt. Your next fight, you were going to be at UFC 300 in April. I don't think that's happening.
no, that's not a fact.
Okay. Then let's
We
talk
shall
about
see.
fighting here. That's what you
No,
want.
you
wanted
need
to
to-
do, right?
Nick,
Build the
do
fight.
it again. Do it again.
You do it.
UFC 300. Will Dricus be there? Only time will
Just have to
tell.
wait and see.
Probably.
We know.
Probably
We're not going to tell you. Maar jullie weten wat ons weet.
Net ons mag nie.
Have you spoken to Dana White about getting a UFC event here?
I haven't spoken to him personally about that, but he spoke about it. He said, he said before the fight, if Dricus becomes champion, we want to do UFC, we start looking at South Africa, we start looking at,
And Africa, hey.
and he
As a
said
whole.
Africa, but we only have one African champion.
Loftus.
That is South Africa.
Dricus, do you agree with that WhatsApp that was going around that, like, you're the number 1 in the world, UFC, but still number 8 in Boxburg?
Number 8 in
Listen,
Boxburg. My mom's from Boxburg. I
I've
can tell
heard
you he's
this from
number
a
8.
lot of places. Everywhere I go, they use their places where I'm number 8. And
Yeah.
I go, guys, that
Arties.
means I am like number 127th in South Africa at this stage. In every dorp, I am number 8. But I've heard it, and there's a lot of places here in South Africa where I don't even like the fact that I'm in the top 10, because now somebody's going to be saying, I want that spot.
Yeah.
Who do you want to fight next?
Israel Adesanya. That's
Let's,
the guy I want to fight next. You
let's
know,
talk about Israel, your beef with Israel.
I don't have beef with Israel
Well,
at all.
He's got beef with you.
Yeah, I mean, I stole his niche. I actually live in Africa.
it's called you're a fake African. You say you don't have feelings
Is that the
about him.
Kiwi you're talking about? Is that the New Zealander?
That's
The
the
guy in New Zealand, Chinese guy, he's claimed a lot of countries.
So do you think you'll be supporting Nigeria in the AFCON?
Yeah, yes, he
Final.
would, and he supported New Zealand in the rugby.
But you don't like him. I mean,
No,
let's
I
be
don't
honest.
like him.
Okay. Let's talk about the rugby final in Paris. Massive night. You were there. Novak's there. The Aquaman. You were there in your jersey,
John Smith was there with his son.
in the posh box.
I was there. I was also
You were
there.
working though.
was-
Doesn't count. John was there.
Bok lief.
Yes,
Again,
boys.
can I
Aquaman
just
looked
say-
concerned for your mental.
No, Aquaman looked concerned. You know what happened? My friend, I get very excited. So we were walking in Paris that day. I'll show you a video where we scrummed in Paris in front of the Eiffel Tower against. We were just random
They
South
actually scrummed
Africans.
the
I
Eiffel
saw
Tower.
you proposing to him as well.
Yeah, that's my one friend. Of
Yeah.
course, you see, we get excited,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of South Africans, but you just see South Africans with boom boxes on
Now
their
you get
back.
in the mood, eh?
But just all around Paris as you walk. And every single person that I saw, our group, with another jersey other than a Springbok jersey, I said, good luck in the final tonight. Every single person I saw.
cool.
Even every New Zealander I said, good luck in the final. But especially the English. I told them, oh, congratulations on playing in the final, guys. And they'll go, what? We're not playing in the final. I said, I know. And yeah, I mean, we were there. The Villiers was amazing
Next
in
level.
Paris. You just saw all these groups of Springboks sitting all over, just random. And everybody, when I looked around us, it was like 9, 10 in the morning. And you just see like 50 South Africans. And nobody was there together. We were like 4, then there was 4 that we knew. And 50 of them, we just made one massive group right in front of the Eiffel Tower with everybody had their own music. It was
sick, eh?
obviously Soja Loza.
That's the only we know.
That's it. And then people you just see people taking Brandewyn out of their bags.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then we saw this group of New Zealanders. And I started shouting at them, of course, like, you're getting this ass handed to you tonight.
Is it
And
nice
they-
knowing if you abuse people that they come at you like, I'm going to
Stop saying abuse, it's not that bad.
Well, sorry, if you're chirping someone and
Yeah.
you're
Just words, Chris.
If
They
it's
say
just words.
unfriendly things.
sticks and
Same.
stones, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
But you know, if you do
You
have
cut
a,
with a
it comes to
dictionary.
if you do have
Yeah.
a bit of banter with someone and they come at you, you know you're going to muddle them.
yes, it
That's
helps.
lekker,
It's
that's lekker.
always like it helps
No,
with the
no,
band
that's
because
how
I
I
don't
live my
have
life.
boundaries. I can say whatever I want.
That's how I've lived my life.
Ta, 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 ta. Boom.
And I promise you, I have a video on my phone. I'll show you this to you guys. It's incredible. I don't know how we agreed to this. This was like 10 in the morning, so
Actually, still hungover.
we were. And no, Oaks was no.
Started.
No, we already drinking Brandewyn again, and we got into a scrum with a group of New Zealand fans. Like we had,
Yeah.
I was as a lock.
Yeah.
Everybody, we actually scrumming. They had girls in their team. Before we scrummed, I talked to our guys. I said, guys, this is for our country. We don't give a shit if it's women
For South
in the
Africa.
scrum.
Them up.
We are there. Like if we can hurt somebody, that's what we
Yes.
want.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we scrummed
That's the
the
spirit.
shit out of them.
Won the scrum. Won the penalty.
We won that
Yeah.
scrum. It was incredible. I have the video, and we just went like, But it was such a good hears for everybody. You know,
Doesn't
whether
matter
you're
who
a
you
New
were
Zealand
supporting.
fan, no matter
Yeah,
who you're
yeah.
supporting, the hears there was
Incredible.
incredible. And meeting. So I get very excited when we meet these, like when the box play. If you don't support the box, then listen, don't get near me. And Aquaman was in our booth. And my best friend, SD, he goes, you won't believe, I just saw Aquaman. I said, Aquaman, we're not in the ocean. And he goes, I said, go, I want to take a photo with him, that'll be awesome. He says, no, I'm not going to take you to him. I said, what? Take me to him, show me where he is. And he said, I know how you get. He has a New Zealand jersey on.
Yeah.
I'm not taking you to him. I said, what? I want to meet the guy, I want to take a photo. He says, no, you're gonna be rude, I know it. I know you're going to be rude. I said, I promise I won't be rude. Come on, take me to him. He says, okay, promise? I said, I promise. We go, we meet Aquaman, aka Jason Momoa, I guess that's his name. And I meet him and I go, yes, you like it, Jason? And I told him, listen,
Jason Yamura.
I promise you, I said this to him, I said, listen, Jason, I drink. I said, Jason, this is not the ocean. I will f you up.
Nice.
Did you say
I
that?
told that to him because obviously we were
Yeah.
having a couple of beers. And I said, Jason, this is not the ocean. You have no power here. Yeah, I'll move you, bro.
This is not easy to answer. Who is the biggest in the UFC?
Not who has the biggest, who is the biggest.
Oh, I
That
was just
you
about to
would
say,
really
I
like to
say that
take
about
down.
myself.
Ah, nice.
I hate talking about myself. Who's the biggest in the UFC?
No, don't answer that.
No, I
Don't.
can answer that.
Tell us.
I want to answer that. I'm going with Israel Adesanya for sure. 100%.
Biggest dick.
Game on, boy.
Easy.
Quickfire questions. Dricus Du Plessis, best fighter you've ever faced.
Shadowboxing in the mirror.
Nice.
Worst fighter you've ever faced up against.
You'll see afterwards.
Same answer, just after a big night out.
Biggest enemy in the sport.
My enemy. I don't have enemies in the sport. I don't see anybody. I promise you, and I stick by this. I know I give Israel a lot of shit, but in all honesty, I do not have an enemy in the sport. I don't have somebody that, you can be the biggest in the world to me. You can be the nicest guy in the world to me. I still want to kill you when we fight. That is how I can say that with all my heart.
Cricket, same thing.
That's how I feel. I really do not care if you are the nicest guy or the biggest. It's strictly business. And afterwards, if we are friends and we have a beer, I always have respect for anybody that's willing to step in there. That's one thing. I respect each and every one of my opponents.
Chirpiest opponent?
Chirpiest should have been Strickland, but owned him.
Best press conference or in-ring sledge you've ever heard?
Conor McGregor is the absolute
good, eh?
G. The
goat.
The goat when it comes to banter. The stuff he said, he's ruined careers with one single sentence. There was the one guy who, he didn't ruin the guy's career. I just said that guy's name, he became who the is that guy? Dude, that he became, because he said to Conor, people was speaking to Conor on a big press conference, and Conor was busy speaking. This guy he wasn't even fighting Conor. He said, this guy TKOs people. I knocked them out. And Conor looked around in the slickest suit you've ever seen at this guy. It's not the slickest suit you've ever seen, and he went, who the is that guy? And that guy, has been fighting in the UFC for years, maybe 10 years. And the whole crowd that video went so viral.
Yeah.
And whenever I say the guy's name, his name is Jeremy Stevens. And no disrespect to him, he was a badass fighter. He's not in the UFC anymore. But whenever I refer to him now, anybody, and people say, Jeremy Stevens.
Who the is that guy?
I go, who the is that guy, dude? And people go, oh, that guy.
That's beautiful.
So, to do something like that, Conor is a master of mind games. He's the best in the world at that. He's proven it many times. He gets guys to throw these shots that he calls. He tells them, you are going to throw that shot. You are going to throw that shot, and then I'm going to do this. And he wins the world title with exactly that combination. He's so good at planting seeds in guys' heads.
Connor's actually a bit heavier now. Would you like to fight him?
I think he's going to fight. I should be honest with you, Connor's a lot smaller than people think. He's a short guy. He's a thick dude now, but I don't think Conor.
I don't think you should say thick.
Don't copy Mayo.
Thick.
I don't think he's going to. In my weight division, no. I don't think he's going to stay there. But if ever, like you said, red panty night, let's go. If it's ever a situation where I get the opportunity to fight Conor McGregor, I would love it. But it's just not something I've seen. I visualize a lot of things in my career, most of it. Everything has worked out the way and I just don't see that happening because it's not. I don't think that's his route. Conor, he wants to fight another guy that's actually a lightweight at middleweight. It's a completely different story than fighting an actual middleweight.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. A lightweight's a guy that fights under 70 kilograms. And now he doesn't diet, he doesn't have to cut that weight, so they're fighting at 84 kilograms. That's a big difference in fighting a guy that's coming from 100 kilograms to fight at 84 kilograms.
Do you think, in tennis, they do these exhibition matches, Federer plays Nadal at Cape Town Stadium, and all the people come out and they talk and they're mic'd up and all that. Do you think we can do that this year? Because South Africa is playing Ireland in July in test matches, rugby, and then we're doing like an exhibition MMA, Conor McGregor versus Dricus Du Plessis, and then you guys just slap each other or
You
stuff
just
like.
act as if. No, I don't.
That won't
In
work,
MMA, it's just, I think it won't work. It won't work. No.
It's just an idea. I'm trying.
Listen,
Because one slap too hard and you go.
that's what I'm saying. It's got to sound like.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's
Yes.
Corner.
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 Hey, Connor.
Hi, Connor.
Hey, I flipping told you,
Final question. Can you give us an exclusive, Dricus Du Plessis? Will you be fighting Israel at UFC 300? Would you like to make it happen? Give us something to look forward to, Dricus.
This is the first time I'm going to say this on TV, so this is great. Wouldn't you like to know? I got you.
Ons weet nog
That's all we're
steeds
going to
nie.
die for
Ons weet
on
nog
this
steeds nie.
series.
The champ.
Thank you for watching. Give it up for the champ.
The champ is here.
Stillknocks. Nik Du Plessis.